Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes the Week. You can support this channel through the PayPal and Subscribe Star links below to keep me making this series of videos. Any and all donations are helpful. Before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, Hawkin the Good. His channel is for MGTOW men looking for philosophy and purpose in today's society. The number one question guys ask me is how do I find meaning and purpose in life? And Hawkin has you covered with politics and current affairs, mixed in from a male perspective. Visit his YouTube channel and see for yourself. Sponsor link is down below. Now on with the memes. Number one, why can't we give up the notion of the ideal body? Say all the fat women out there that want all the attention and chats for themselves. Because they're repulsive, of course, expensive, of course, because of all the cheese doodles they eat and the health issues they carry. Not to mention that fatties aren't as fertile. But let's be honest, they want us to give up on the ideal body for women, but at the same time, the ideal body for a man, that standard has to stay. Up next, the Georgia lawmaker passed down after a night of drinking and was fired because of it. Remember, gentlemen, that it's never a woman's fault when something bad happens to her. It was the bartender, he should have cut her off after only 5 drinks, because it was the 6th one that caused her to soil herself in the streets. She looks like the Wicked Witch of the West from the Land of Oz as she melts in tears in the ambulance. Number 3, it looks like MGTOW is winning. The New York Times asked why aren't people marrying? More like why aren't men marrying women? After all, men are the gatekeepers to commitment. The article blames women's failures on men. The article, of course, doesn't ask men why they aren't marrying women either. Men would say because we don't want to take part in a rigged marriage market. The next question they should ask is, why won't straight women date or marry trans men? Moving on is a woman saying to ban all men, replace them with women of color. Men and white people had their millennium and messed it up, so goodbye. Some guy responds to her by saying, you misspelled, nobody wants to sleep with me. I say put women of color in power and watch the cities and civilization crumble while all the white males pick up and leave to other countries. We're entering the age of the sovereign individual, thanks to Bitcoin, and we won't have to interact with women like her for much longer. Number 5, what the hell happened to Starlight? She looks like she should now be called Moonlight. While she does appear to look like an addict, she's just an actress that's had work done on her face recently. Looks like the baby fat was sucked out of her cheeks to create the popular drag queen look. She's not the only one out there. There are other actresses that are having the same work done. Up next is yet another white female school worker, and this one filmed herself with a 13-year-old dude, doing the dirty. She was arrested and fired and even threatened to end herself at the boy's house with a boomstick to keep quiet. We seriously need to get rid of human resource departments in schools because they're clearly hiring the crazies for their classrooms. Notice the red flag tattoo is also present. Number 7, recently I've shared a post where unvaxxed sperm was the next Bitcoin. But now it looks like vaxxed women are lying about their vax status, as more men see them as an infertility risk. If you want to make sure your girlfriend hasn't been jabbed, tell her that you will only date women with the vax. She will either be honest and tell you that she got it, or lie to you and tell you that she got it too. Either she's an idiot or a liar, so that information helps you decide to leave her or not. Also guys, is this vax thing true to begin with? Moving on, a woman says that now that they're married, he can get rid of his collectibles. He says she's starting to sound like his future ex-wife. The ironic part is, this is probably how the two of them met back in the day. She was probably just a female chameleon pretending to like the same things that he does, and now she's changed. More like revealed her true nature and he's not having any of it. She will now shame him and say it's cringe for a grown man to play with toys. Yet she can have as many as she wants next to the bed as she wants. Number 9, a guy has 4 daughters with his wife, and he's resenting her because she can't give him a son. He doesn't know what to do. With that much estrogen, you're done, my dude. Maybe he should be using the front door next time instead. He can always try in vitro fertilization with her, and that way they can map the genes of the fertilized egg and be 100% sure that it's a boy. This guy needs to look into that. Women shamed him and said that it's his fault that he can't have a son. But don't despair, because odds are one of those daughters will transition into a son. Number 10, this guy that's the GTA 6 publisher believes that games should be priced per hour. Tell me GTA 3 is a bad game without telling me it's bad. Maybe 10 to 20 years ago when gaming was still good, but today no one would put up with that. Adobe created a subscription model, and most game companies already have a monthly fee. But it's never enough money, is it there, Zelnick? Looks like it's time to play an awesome free game called Going Outside. Moving on, in case you missed it, this past Blacksgiving, There was a great new film released by Disney called Pocahontas. Her tribe even uses her as ammunition against their enemies in their catapult. Now that we have this, I want to see Black Fat Tarzan, but it'll probably never happen. But in this film, the man that's cast to be the love interest better be sure he's the one on top, unless he likes being crushed. Here's the poster for the sequel with Space Lizzo acting in it. Number 12, this must be a picture of another one of those middle school teachers trying to show her student a good time. Either that or a mother that thinks this is perfectly okay. How much you want to bet that this picture is all about helping his mother find a stepdad? This is so sad and shameful. And if you know this woman, you need to call the cops on her. This looks like abuse. Looks like some thoughts need to learn how to crop images too. Up next, the scariest image from this week. Even scarier than the last one. I wonder if Honey here combed his chest hair to look like cleavage. Or if he actually has cleavage. I bet you guys are thankful that I didn't ask you if you would smash Slutterella here. My question is, how did this man even get married and to what? Also, this is probably the target demographic that uses the tampon dispensers in the men's bathroom. Number 14 is what happens to a guy after a woman lies and tells him he's the only guy she's ever been with. And then his willy is on fire 3 days later. I bet this anaconda now regrets having some. That's probably also the picture you get in the dictionary when you look up herpetogonosyphilates. When a woman tells you she's only been with 5 men, this is what she really means. Wrap it up, boys. Moving on, if you go to an animal shelter to find a dog, you're a saint. But if you go to a woman's shelter to find a girlfriend, everyone loses their minds. These are the trials and tribulations of the modern man and the woman that nobody wants. If someone abuses a dog, then the dog is scared of that individual human. But if a woman has been hurt by an individual man, then she seems to hate all men. That's the real question. Number 16, you may not know much about birds, but it's easy to identify the male one in this picture. One time I watched a male and female cardinal standing next to each other near food, and I swear the brown female bird was nagging him to go on get the seeds that I put out on the table. She couldn't come and do it herself. She needed him to go and bring it back to her and then feed it directly into her mouth. I used to think that it was just women behaving like this, but now I realize it's all females in most species. Up next, there's an Epstein book claiming that he was working for Mossad to film U.S. politicians and businessmen with underage girls to blackmail them and get them to do what they want. I just want to know where the list is. Even if the book is fake, it's not like Epstein can defend himself at this point. And suddenly all the U.S. policy in the Middle East for the last 40 years starts to make sense. I guess you need to put another dollar in the Alex Jones was right jar. Number 18, women hate going halvesies when they date, but they love going halvesies with a divorce. Talk about double standards. But they will go halves on a date if they find you attractive and want to be with you, and don't want to risk you rejecting them if they say they won't pay half. You'd think that they would see paying 50-50 on dates as an investment to eventually getting 50+% from a divorce, which is usually a hell of a lot more money. I guess women are the cheap ones after all. Number 19, even though it's been said there's no such thing as a femcel, I think we finally found the closest thing to one. But then again, all she needs to do is get a nose job and a chin implant, and she too can take her turn with Chad and finally obtain her Alpha Widow status card. She also looks like that cartoon that was taken out by the Headless Horseman. Sleepy Hollow comes to mind. Moving on, as this is what a dying society looks like. How is the woman on the right even able to stand up? But at least Ray Ray's baby has a globular belly to perch herself onto. It's like we're only in the first generation of idiocracy. And imagine what the woman on the right is going to look like in another 50 years. My guess is there will be a grass hut and a bunch of goats to go along with it. Along with Brondo, of course. This isn't a dying society. It's already dead. Number 21 is a woman that says nothing can prepare you when you make lonely fans money, but you still aren't happy and no man in the world wants you. I guess actions have consequences after all, honey. It almost sounds like she's taking accountability or something like that. What she really means by no man in the world is no Chad in the world will ever want her. Plenty of guys will want her, but she won't want them. Up next, it looks like my favorite new movie, Black Lives Matter. But in this day and age, when spicy content can be had for free, why pay a $30 fee? I'm not exactly sure that Skylar is presenting herself here as a wife. But is this the long-awaited sequel to the film The Color Purple that we all haven't been waiting for? I'm sure this will be as big a classic as the film Shaving Ryan's Privates. Number 23, maybe it's time for America to normalize girls carrying big boomsticks at the mall, like the women in Israel do. But just remember that the areas with the strictest boomstick laws have the highest crime rates because there's no deterrence. Just don't stare at women like this and make them think you're a creep, or they might turn into human Swiss cheese. Moving on is the average woman when she has to admit that she's wrong and apologize. Remember that accountability is a woman's kryptonite. Never correct a woman that did something wrong and then blames you for things going astray. Just ignore her and keep doing what you're doing. She's just a professional victim looking to pick a fight so she can dump all her toxic emotions onto you. Number 25 and the last one is P. Diddy, being accused of rape in court by Cassie, and she claims that he physically abused her too. Apparently he forced her to do the deed with multiple gigolos while he watched and recorded it all. So not only might he be abusive, but he's also a cuck according to reports. He of course denies being a cuck. This is probably how P. Diddy feels right now. I just hope he's innocent. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so that new viewers can find it. If you enjoyed this series and want me to expand on it, then please donate it to Subscribestar and PayPal links below, and I'll make more videos each week. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.